'cause I hears your lonely heart. I was hearing all the secret whisperings of the world.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to ReelTime for the real everyday movie fan. I'm Ryan Murphy.
And I'm Josh Williams.
And today we're giving you a ReelTime review for the BFG. Now, the BFG is, of course, directed by none other than Steven Spielberg,
the master.
The most famous director in the universe. And stars Ruby Barnhill, Mark Rylance, Jermaine Clement, Bill Hader, and Rebecca Hall.
And Penelope Wilton, who played the Queen.
Of course, yes. Let's go ahead and start. What did you think of the movie, Josh?
I don't want to say it was okay, because that might be diminishing a little bit too much.
Score out of 10.
It was all right. All right, score out of 10, I'm going to give it 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
So it was good, but it was not one of Spielberg's best, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually put it probably in the bottom, like somewhere in the bottom list. I couldn't tell you where at, but definitely wasn't his best, which was sad because it was a very highly anticipated film.
For me, I'd say probably about maybe 5.5 out of 10.
Wow, you went lower than me. Okay.
I mean, yeah, this is definitely not Spielberg's best work. It's yeah. I mean, you can definitely see some there's definitely some Spielbergian whimsy. And you can definitely because I was not looking forward to this movie at all because I thought it looked bad and the CGI looked terrible in the trailers and everything. And actually, I don't want to say it looks better in the film because of course it's the same footage that you're seeing in the commercials. But I don't know. I mean, just I don't know. Maybe seeing more of it and just sort of. I mean, there's a lot. I don't know. It looked better for me. I felt a lot better about it when I was watching the movie because the sets are all actually live action, or apparently so, and. There's actually some shots like especially the bad guy looks really great. Doesn't even look like CGI. So, I mean, all that stuff was really great. And you can definitely see, I was like, why is Spielberg even doing this? And you can definitely see why he's doing it because there is that, I mean, Spielberg likes to do these films with this big sense of wonder and sort of like have fun with these big sets and stuff like that. And there is definitely that of like all this giant stuff and this little girl running around on giant tabletops and stuff like that. And of course, it's made by the same people. Screenplay was by the same lady who wrote E.T., who sadly passed away some time ago before the film was released. But it's like you can't help but compare it to, and maybe that's not fair to compare it to all other works that the people involved have done. But I mean, that's the way it is. Sorry.
Yeah, it is.
And it's like it's definitely not anywhere near as good as E.T. And it's a lot simpler. That's the thing. It's a very simple movie. Like it should be about an hour and a half. It's actually a little bit longer than that because they kind of have some very expansive scenes, and we'll probably get to that. But I mean, it's very simple. Like the scenes. There's not a whole lot of complexity to the movie. It's not a very drawn out climax even. It's very things happen and then it's over. So it's not that's kind of like it's not like memorable like E.T. or something else where it's like more complex and more has more going on and there's more peril and more pitfalls and and everything before the climax of the movie and stuff like that. So
that was one of the things for me was the pacing. It was actually kind of bad.
It's very bad.
It was.
I think we're thinking of the same scene too.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's the first act of the scene. I feel like they spent a little too much time with which it was kind of cute seeing them like the BFG and Ruby Barnhill's character Sophie. It was good kind of seeing them together, but in the context of the story, it was taking a little too long.
It was boring.
It was. Sometimes it was very boring, and you wanted to kind of have the heartfelt feeling, but. I mean, it just wasn't. It just wasn't there. I don't know why it wasn't there. It just wasn't there. Yeah. And then the climax scene, the end result of the scene of the movie, where they're supposed to take on the big bad giants, way too fast. I mean, it could have very well been really cool scene, but it's over.
At the same time, I do feel
weird.
I do feel like part of that is just it's based on just a very short Roald Dahl book, and it's kind of just supposed to be about. It is less trying to be like this big epic Spielberg film as much as just sort of this nice little like bedtime story. And then this happened, and then it's like.
And then there was a scene.
It's a bedtime story kind of. It's
Yeah, and then there was a scene with Sophie, BFG, and the Queen.
Yeah.
That whole scene, I was just like, you could have cut that out and maybe shortened it a little and been just.
You could have definitely shortened shorten it. That went on for so long.
It did. It was almost.
And there's some stuff in that scene, and I think you're probably thinking about the same thing I'm thinking about. Where you're looking at it, and you're like, this is the same guy who made the opening sequence of Saving Private Ryan,
right?
Who's now making this. I don't want to give away what happens in the scene, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, exactly. And I will give it to Spielberg's props. This is some of these scenes are something I've never actually seen him do before. But then you're just like, I wasn't into it.
He's
it
never
was
had
really weird.
Quite that kind of sense of humor.
Yeah, exactly. And it was weird, but it just didn't work for me. But I will say, one of the big things I liked was Mark Rylance, surprisingly. Yeah. I mean, before, I didn't think he deserved the Oscar Best Supporting Actor for his performance in Bridge of Spies. I didn't think it was that great. I thought it was overrated. But this performance with motion capture was really good. I mean, he actually really did portray a lot of great emotion with this character being kind of bullied around by the big giants, and then meeting Sophie and his connection with Sophie. I thought it was really well done on his part. And he did a great job. And even then, you can't take away from Ruby Barnhill, who played Sophie. I thought she did a really good job. And this was actually her first movie. A big coming out for her. And I feel like her in this, she has great potential. I want to see what she does next. And hopefully it might be a Spielberg, it might be somebody else. But I really applauded her performance really well.
Yeah.
What about you? Did you even like the cinematography like I did? I mean, I thought the cinematography, the plethora of colors, like it's kind of really beautiful in that sense for me.
Yeah, I mean, most of it, it's kind of funny because most of it is CGI. So like, there's a scene where the BFG like turns around where we first see him, and it's like all dark, and it's like some of the light is coming in shadows and all that sort of. And that's the sort of stuff you usually lay on the cinematography. Because this is CGI, I have to wonder like, how, like, okay, there's got to be some animators who think about light and how that works, and light and shadows and all that stuff. And does the cinematographer Janusz Kaminski, does he have anything to do with that decisions, or are those decisions? Because that's like animations.
It does.
Does he consult on the? He probably consults on it, because I know Roger Deakins was actually a consultant, like on Rango, the animated movie Rango. Roger Deakins worked on that film. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, but.
And probably the most beautiful scene was the scene with the tree. And like, we're not going to give away what the tree is, because that's kind of in a spoiler territory. But unless you read the book, then you know. But
it's the world, Yggdrasil, the world tree. Chris Hemsworth as Thor comes out of it.
Yeah, but that scene was very beautiful. I mean, the colors were really, really gorgeous, and I liked, as far as visually, that was probably my favorite scene of the whole movie, with him and Sophie talking together, BFG. So, all right, what are your overall thoughts? And just tell this audience whether it's worth their money to go see it in the theater.
I'm going to say the word Spielbergian fun for the 10th time. The Spielbergian whimsy and kind of that fantastical element, and it's definitely kind of him. It is sort of going into a little bit new territory for him, because it is a little bit more, maybe even a little bit more fanciful than even he's used to. It does have that. It is a Roald Dahl, and it still feels like a short children's book. So it feels like a little bedtime story in it, and for that reason, you could call that a negative also, because, like you said, it's very simple. Stuff happens very quickly. It doesn't feel as complex or as all that sort of stuff, but. It does have some sense of a lot of sense of fun to it. Jermaine Clement as the bad guy is a highlight. Yeah, very interesting, and you get giant country and just this whole very, very childish, like, and the scene with the Queen. There's things that happen in it that don't really happen in reality. Like, no one would be saying, the Queen wouldn't be doing or saying these things in reality. It's very like childish. It's very child story-ish, like something you would tell to a child. And that's something, like I said, like even Spielberg, even the guy who did Hook, hasn't really gone that far into that territory before. So that's kind of interesting and fun to me. It's just but overall, it's just a little bit too kind of boring and not well paced enough to.
Would you recommend it to the audience to go see it in the theaters, or would you have them wait?
I would say probably wait.
Wait?
Yeah.
Okay. For me, overall, I mean, it was good. I mean, it wasn't great. It wasn't. I mean, it's definitely in his lowest, the lowest list of his overall movies that he's directed. But the music was great. John Williams, of course, did an amazing job. Cinematography was good in a lot of certain points. And I mean, Mark Rylance and Ruby Barnhill were good in the movie, but just the pacing was really bad, and things happened too quickly. Took too long. It was kind of made it a little boring for me. I didn't feel the magic like I was hoping to feel. So I actually am in agreement with him. I mean, it's a good little movie to cuddle up with your family and watch it on TV, but not in the theater. Yeah. I mean, you're kind of gonna leave the theater like, I mean, it was okay. I could have maybe waited. So if you take our advice, wait for it to come on DVD. Sadly, Steven Spielberg, I'm sorry, we can't recommend this to them to have them see in the theater. But hopefully, you guys at least check it out when it does come out on Netflix or DVD.
I think he'll be okay.
I think I'm sure he'll be just fine.
He made Jurassic Park. So
yeah. That'll do it for today, folks. Thank you very much for watching. What did you think of the BFG if you have seen it? Jump in the comments below and tell us whether you liked it or not, whether you liked our comments on the film, and give us your score out of 10. Also, if you like what you watched, then please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can see more of our content in the future. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Josh Williams.
And I'm Ryan Murphy.
And thank you for keeping it real
with ReelTime.